If you want to know how to make your very own straw topper designs for your 3D print projects, then keep on watching because I have a beginner-friendly tutorial for you today that anybody can do with no prior experience. I do have a bunch of other tutorials for 3D print designing, so feel free to check those out and subscribe for more tutorials in the future. But let's get started. Today we are using tinkercad.com. You can access this on any browser, and this is the perfect website to use if you're just learning how to design. Firstly, we're going to make a very simple name straw topper. We're doing this because it'll help you get an idea of how to lay out your shape and what size hole to cut. You can really make any straw topper you want. All that really matters is that you get the sizing right and you don't make it too big or too small, and make sure that it fits the type of straw you're making it for. On the right hand side of Tinkercad, they have all of these shapes that are ready to go for you to use. I dragged over a square and I made it wider to make it a rectangle. If you lift the text on top of the rectangle that you created, it'll automatically snap into place. That's something that I do like about Tinkercad. It makes it very easy for you to design as a beginner. Once you place your text, there's this tab that pops up that says text, and that's where you can edit the name, or if you want to do a monogram, and you can play with the settings to see what you like best. There's different fonts you can use, and you can adjust the other settings for that text. If you want to see how it looks with different colors, you click the color button at the top that says solid, and you can either choose any of the colors that's on that palette or go to the color wheel and customize it yourself. If you like to adjust the height of any of your shapes, you click the middle square that shows up on any of the elements that you click. Another tool that you want to get used to is this work plane tool. This allows you to change your work plane. I'm going to set my work plane to the top of the rectangle because that is where we're going to add our design. From here, you can snap it into place using this setting that says drop to work plane, and it'll lie directly on top of the rectangle. Or if you want to make the work plane the side of the rectangle, you can also do that. To tidy up your text and make sure it's aligned, select everything and hit L or click the align button. These little circles will pop up and it will show you a preview of how it will snap into place once you click it. I'm going to click the middle so that it's directly in the middle of the rectangle. You can either have it with two colors or you can have it a solid color with an engraving of your name, and I'll show you how to do that. You want to click your text box and you want to click whole instead of solid. That makes it so that it cuts out whatever object it is on. But in order to do that, you want to adjust the height of your text box so that it's in the rectangle and not on top. You can kind of see how it already made a hole for you before you even group it. And to finalize it, you select all, you group it, and the engraving should show up. We are almost done with designing these simple straw toppers, but you can always adjust it and fine tune it until it looks the way you want it to. You can adjust the height of the text, you can make it different colors if you want to visualize that yourself. The last thing we have to do is to make the hole that the straw goes through. Make sure that the settings for your canvas are in millimeters. You can see if it's in millimeters or not at the bottom right where it says snap grid. It will show millimeters. For our hole, we want it to be 10 millimeters. Now it depends if your straw is bigger or smaller. You want to know the diameter of your straw before you make this. This is kind of a standard. I made mine a bit taller, that way I know it goes completely through the rectangle. If you make it too short, it'll stop halfway and you'll have a solid back and your straw can't go through. So just make sure you make it tall enough so that you know for sure it's going through all of the sides of the rectangle. Now you can drag your hole into your rectangle. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're using the same exact method we use with the lettering. You click align once you select all, and then you click on the little circles. That will help you make sure it is completely centered. The final step is to select everything and group them all together. You'll see that it creates the hole within the rectangle, and everything should be good to go to export it as an OBJ file or an STL file. Now we're going to make this heart one. It's the same exact process except you're using a heart shape. So you can really make anything into a straw topper. You can even make a flower or make it a triangle. You want to set your base shape and then you want to have your designs layered on top, and then you want to add your hole in the middle like we did with the first one. This is just if you want it to be a little more fancy. The more you play around with the settings and the more you get used to how to layer items, how to group items, how to create indentations and holes, the easier it will be for you to create more complex designs. Also, if you've gotten this far into the video, be sure to comment what other 3D projects you'd like me to make next. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and like this video so that you can also get one of these free straw topper files. All you have to do is message me on my Instagram after you commented with your username and your email. I'll have a bunch more beginner-friendly tutorials that are completely free to watch here on YouTube, as well as small business tips and content creation tips and tutorials. I try to help everybody in the best way that I can with some free resources, sharing the things I learned, and I'd love for you to join the family so we can all grow together. Back to the tutorial, feel free to follow along. As you have Tinkercad open, you can split your screen into two, so the tutorial can be on the left side of your screen and your Tinkercad can be on the right. I feel like that's the most efficient way to learn, is if you do it yourself and follow me step by step. This is the final look. Thank you so much for watching and sticking to the very end. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, this is for beginners, so if you're a beginner with no prior experience, it's perfect for you. If you want to try this out later, feel free to save this for later and test it out yourself. I'd love to see everything you guys create. If you want to know how I make these mock-ups, I will make a tutorial for that too, so stay tuned. Until then, I will see you in my next video, and I can't wait to see what else you guys want me to make.